So let us turn to Sri Lanka now, because this is a very interesting example of a country that, despite enormous challenges in its not too distant history, it's ensured it's been able to empower large segments of its society, particularly with access to quality education and healthcare. And to explain the impact of these improvements on the lived experience of Sri Lankans, we recently spoke to the Sri Lankan High Commissioner, Her Excellency Saroja Sirisena. And here's some of what she had to say about the importance of health and education.
I think the first thing is to recognize that these two are essentials. That whatever you do in your country, your citizens cannot benefit from anything without having health and education. Over 7 decades, Sri Lanka has invested in its healthcare and education sectors. And despite having to go through a terrorist conflict for nearly 3 decades, the government did not compromise on its expenditure towards these two vital sectors. We have compulsory education until the age of 16, so it's not even a choice for people to ponder over whether they can afford to send a child to school, because the government provides uniforms, textbooks, and even midday meals. So I think for citizens, it's a huge relief. It's something that they know, they enjoy. It's their right to send their child to school. Maternal health care is a very important element in our healthcare system. From the most rural areas are covered by midwives. And this has also become better and more accessible since the infrastructure has improved, public transportation has improved, and also the security situation. These are also very important factors that have contributed to Sri Lanka's growth. For Sri Lanka, health and education are not commodities. The government views them for over 7 decades as the essential, the backbone of development, because you can't acquire them instantly later on. It has to be a process. It has to be across generations. And if citizens are to benefit from additional wealth, they cannot benefit properly in the true sense of the word without health and education.
So some really fascinating perspectives there out of Sri Lanka. I think it's inspiring to see also how one can transform the prospects of a community, no matter how challenging that starting point, particularly with deliberate focus. So if we reflect, the 3 domains that we've just heard about, inclusive societies, open economies, and empowered people, these are the building blocks to a prosperous society. And all of us at the Institute are keen to engage with policymakers and leaders around the world to explore how the index could help identify countries' strengths and weaknesses, policy priorities for progressing on that pathway to prosperity, as well as successful examples, such as the ones we've just seen, from which to take inspiration.